I had such high expectations for Multiversus. The game has popular characters, a budget funded by a big publisher. It used to have fast-paced Smash-like combat. They were hyping up their social media build-up with the Ambassador program, and it seemed like they were doing everything right in the esports FGC department with a $100,000 prize pool at EVO that paid out everyone who made top 32. Not just top 8, not just top 16, top 32. It genuinely looked like they had the recipe for success. They were cooking. I was such a believer in the hype and wanted to become a pro in the game so badly that I convinced my duo partner, who doesn't even play fighting games, to book their flight to EVO and split the hotel room with me. But by God, we did it. We actually did it. We ended up getting top 24 and got paid almost $900 2 hours after we got knocked out in the tournament, which is usually, if you're a pro player or know how the esports side of the FGC works, that is pretty much unheard of. I was the Jeff Bezos of the FGC, the one who made it out of FGC poverty. I was feeling like Scrooge jumping into a pool of gold. This kind of money for not even getting top 16 did not feel like I was in the fighting game community. Things were looking bright for the competitive scene, and because of that, I could look past the online issues, the lackluster battle pass incentives, no ranked mode, and crazy unbalanced kits with some of these characters. But I didn't have any worries, I could always come back later, so I dropped the game thinking I would come back after these things were fixed when it came out of quote-unquote beta. A few months passed, and they announced that they were shutting the game down to fix things and polish things up, so I thought, great. They care, they actually care about improving the game. And then after a year-long shutdown, we finally got some news. Multiversus was finally coming back. We got a developer update, and the game director had assured us that they had heard our feedback and learned a lot from the quote-unquote beta. It was said that they rebuilt the game to fix the netcode, they moved to Unreal Engine 5, and it was time to get hyped. So after that first announcement, a few months had passed and they dropped the official announcement trailer, and I thought, we are so back, baby. And I mean, they had a year to fix issues and improve the game. So the game has to feel more fleshed out and good to play, right? Yeah, so that was a fucking lie. They obviously didn't bother with balancing characters correctly, with LeBron coming out with this, and Iron Giant having an infinite. They didn't know how to balance one of the best characters in the game, so they just removed one of her moves in her kit instead of figuring out how to properly balance it. Ranked mode still isn't available. The netcode is still horrible and caused my PC, for the first time in my life, in the 15 years I've used one, to blue screen crash and restart. The monetization is one of the greediest things I've seen that makes me think they were taking notes out of Blizzard, and the game's input delay compared to the beta feels horrible. It feels comparable, if not worse, than Smash Ultimate's Online. But at least with Smash, you didn't get constant disconnect errors or run the risk of your system restarting. The only thing that looks to have changed throughout the whole year that they've had to fix things is that there's now more menu navigation, they made a legitimate cash shop, and they added a grindy, unfun PvE mode that can be made easier with their gem system. And how do you get these gems, you ask? Oh, you just look in the cash shop. The game also feels very unfriendly to free-play players, with it taking over 38 hours worth of playtime to unlock one character. But I do want to note that this is after you have claimed the one-time reward currency. And if you want to buy a new character like Joker, then you're gonna have to spend a whopping 77 hours to unlock them. Now, because I wanted to replicate how the new player experience would be for someone, I decided to make a new account and go through the entire process of going through the unskippable tutorial and the first initial fight. So this right here is how your character select screen is gonna look like if you decide to become a new player today. You'll unlock and own Banana Guard if you log in for one more day, but besides that, you're pretty much only gonna own Shaggy and are gonna rely on their free rotation to play different characters. I do want you to know though, if I were to go through the PvE game mode and play a bit of the Rifts for a while, grind it out maybe an hour, maybe 2, I don't know, maybe 3, I would have enough fighter currency to get one more character. But after that, it's going to take almost 40 hours to unlock someone else. But this is the free-to-play model, so some of you can try to defend that, but I'll have you know that it didn't take nearly this long to unlock 2 characters in the beta test with the gold currency that we used to use. Do keep in mind, there are 26 characters in the game, and my character select screen will look way different than yours since I actually bought the $100 version of the game 2 years ago. You, however, will only own Shaggy, Banana Guard, one freebie character after some light grinding, and relying on the free rotation. So if you're thinking of trying the whole cast, tough luck. Either spend money or spend hundreds of hours to unlock everyone. Taking all of that into account, along with the online not even being functional half of the time, well, the players start to leave. The Steam charts show that the game came back amazingly strong, just like when it first released, with 100,000 players playing the game on re-release. And as the weeks keep going by, the player count has now gone to 10 to 15,000, and it's only going to keep getting lower. Now, obviously, this isn't taking into consideration those playing on Epic Games, PlayStation, or Xbox, but we can only assume that the same thing is probably happening on those platforms too. I really don't understand how a whole year can go by with no progress being made in the areas that needed fixing. The only real problems that the game really did need fixing was the online netcode and the perk system balance. Other than that, the game felt really good to play in the alpha and beta. The things that didn't feel good was you or your opponents teleporting off the map or a weird choppy slowdown. If they would have fixed that, then the game felt like it only really needed ways to keep player retention and make their battle pass worth leveling up. But that's not what we got after a year. The game actually feels worse than the alpha. Yeah, not the beta, the alpha. The perk system has been simplified, which is good, but the netcode feels largely unchanged. Like, what the hell was going on with the year of development time? More things have been taken away than added or improved. I mean, I really wanted Multiversus to succeed. I remember the game being leaked throughout my last 2 years of college and getting excited about the possibilities and how fun the game would be. I remember the excitement that I felt actually being accepted into the closed alphas and eventually beta. I remember how fun playing the game was in the competitive scene at EVO. Multiversus had so much going for it, and they have fumbled the bag for the second and I believe last time. The first time was a result in releasing too early when it needed more time to cook. And now the second time is the result in literally taking things away from the game while upping the monetization and not improving anything else in the process. Now, I don't know if this is a Warner Brothers issue with the ones in suits calling the shots and letting something as bad as the Suicide Squad game get greenlit, or I don't know if they were the ones to cause Multiversus to not really make any progress in the year that they had to fix the beta issues, while instead monetizing the hell out of it. I'm not sure what the case is, but what I am sure about is that the game that I really enjoyed playing in the past probably won't ever come back from this. But I'm hoping that I'm wrong and issues do get fixed and the game thrives, because even as the game is right now, there is still that glimmer of fun that I had in the previous versions of the game, and I'd like more people to get into it and have the amount of fun that I had. It's just currently buried under a whole lot of garbage. It really just makes me hope that we don't see the same thing happen with the League of Legends fighter. It really makes me hope that the developers at Riot are taking a close look at how things are going with Multiversus and does the complete opposite. I would hate for a game that's looking to be the fighting game to play for both casuals and try-hard sweats to end up like a disaster that we're seeing with Multiversus. Things were going so good, and they just blew it, man. It's really a shame to see. With that being said though, how do you feel about Multiversus? Were you also one of the beta players and enjoyed the game? Do you think the game still has a chance? Well, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give me a like and consider subscribing. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.